Welcome back. It's Home Stretch now on the program, and we're reviewing the markets in the month of August, talking about the stocks, treasury bills, and of course bond market segments of the market. Robert Omotunde joins me live in the studio. He's an investment analyst with Afrinvest. Hello, Robert. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Good morning.
So let's take a look at the markets. So for the most of August, there wasn't really so much to be excited about. You know, we saw a lot of bloodletting, and up until yesterday, the markets didn't even give any indication there was going to be any reprieve. But hey, we saw a reprieve in the equities market. Let's start with how the equities market fared in August.
Well, in the month of August, the equities market has been basically down, as you've highlighted, and this is stems from concerns around several macroeconomic issues. There are domestic headwinds. There's a global contagion that the market is also feeling the impact. By and large, you've seen that most of the counters have shared significantly in the month of August, ranging from the banking sector to the oil and gas, and even the industrial and consumer goods sector. And of course, during the month, we saw the inflow of some results. We noticed that Zenith Bank was out in the month of August, Access Bank, you know, the same with GT, and these banks, being tier 1 banks, posted impressive results in terms of their top line and bottom line. The key line items of their income statements, you know, they still went significantly up, but the market obviously was not excited because there are issues around FX. You know, foreign investors are still taking the back seat, and even the domestic investors are watching the foreign investors take the first step.
It was also the same thing we noticed in the fixed income segment of the market, because you know, from conversations we've had, it's not unconnected to the fact that there's fears of another possible depreciation of the local currency.
Yeah, it's been the major concern for foreign investors. Sadly, they are not so confident yet that there won't be any need for a devaluation. The gist out there suggests that the naira should be trading at around 220 at the interbank. All right, though that's around the price we're noticing at the parallel market. So these are concerns generally that, you know, have been plaguing the market so far in the month of August. The market was able to do, it was down by about 6.2% or thereabout for the month of August, and these the major losses.
That's for the equities.
Yes, for the equities market. Okay. The major losses that were experienced, you know, was basically between this week and last week. And like I noted earlier, it's stemming from the concerns around global equities following the devaluation of the yuan. We saw that the market, you know, in those markets, Eurasian markets and some developed markets, you know, they got a bit of that. And of course, the market is gradually rebounding, and of course, we would expect that sentiment may improve for our market, but our headwinds are still noticeable.
Well, according to analysis from Afrinvest, the T-bills yields, particularly for 365 day tenor, are still more attractive at 16%, is what you said. Why is that?
Yeah, the yield curve is interesting at the moment. I mean, the sovereign yield curve, if you check what investors are pricing within the fixed income line, from the 3-month treasury bill down to 365 and even to 20-year government bond, it's impressive to note that the 365-day instrument is still trading at about 16%, whereas other tenured instruments are trading within closed bands, particularly between 15.28% and 15.8%. It's a strange occurrence for the market at this time. What it tells us is that investors are really, you know, the risk that investors are pricing within the medium to the long term are more or less converging, and that's why you see that yields are trading at that, you know, at that level. And it's instructive to also note that investors that want to take advantage of the market at this time, while the lull in the equities market persists, the fixed income market might be, you know, the option for most investors to take an advantage, because at a 15% yield and even 16% for the 365-day treasury bill is an interesting return that investors may want to consider. But like I said earlier, foreign investors are still wary, so it's left for local investors, I mean institutional investors, PFAs, and other institutional investors to take advantage of this opportunity in the market.
Yeah, because for at least for most of this week, in this month, notice that the DTMs, the short end of the curves, like from between the 7 to, for instance, the 105 DTMs, that witnessed kind of a price contraction, closing, fluctuating between 11 or 12 to 14 to 15%.
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, if you check for at the shorter end of the curve, where you have most of the treasury bills and some OMO maturities that are due, those with shorter time to maturity, have been trading, within volatile bounds, if I can put it that way. And it's also not unconnected with the general, state of the market. Investors will just continue to, look at the market and see where they can, take position I mean, where they see opportunities the most. That's where we'll see most investors playing at this time.
Even at the bond market as well.
Yeah, the bond market too. Yeah, I've noted that most bond instruments are trading at tight bounds, 15.28% to about 15.8%. It's like I've noted the fact that it's strange because it's not a common occurrence. Most times you see yields at the shorter end, trading lower than, the yields at the longer end, or the reverse. But in this case, they're somewhat converging, and it presents opportunity for investors who still want to take advantage of the market, even at this level.
So this is the last week in August, and we're entering September, and a lot of investors are going to be taking this information, at least this and most other ones that will probably, most of that gist that will hit the streets, and going into September. But we'll talk about that, in the next conversation that we're likely going to have sometime next week. But thank you so much, Robert, for coming on the program this morning. And that's the show for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. I'm Harriet Agbing. Have a profitable day.